keep moving towards the core. Uh-oh. Whatever Cyan did, I don't think Hephaestus is happy about it. Okay, Cyan said something about restraints. Is that what the towers are? Cyan warned us about. This won't be easy.
We can't let it stop us.
Take it down!
spoke of the tower. What must be done with it? Whatever you're going to do to that tower, do it now.
Critical threat detected. Autonomous defenses inoperative. Rerouting our network.
Maria! Don't!
Spirit! Scion, please help me!
Restraints destroyed. Core access attained. I am initiating a chain reaction that will destroy the compromised elements of this facility. In order to maintain Caldera stabilization, I must now transfer my command functions to the auxiliary data center. Aurea, I'm free. You must escape.
My sister!
This entire place is gonna go. Aratak. 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 Survive. Prevail. You are Banuk. What else matters? Aratak. She wouldn't have wanted you to die here. Let's go. Let's go!
One of those?
It's the only way! Get me up top, Aratak! Now!
Rhea's gone. What of Cyan?
She said she was transferring herself to the auxiliary center. I think she meant Araya's retreat at the end of the Shaman's Path.
Then I will meet you there for the last verse of my sister's song.
Okay. 应该是没。晚一点再看看。你无招阿元，阿元刚刚有去算
我无回来啊，我有看伊算啊，我甲伊的机会做啊。那伊创啊是任务中吼，对，伊任务中啊可能等落去啊。你无经开搁爱更新的呢？迄魔无拍，迄只无拍。
早就更新好了。
啊，你全身武装敢有开？
啊袂。
该帮你开。你这新的太空战士只无拍。我来刚刚伫据点的音乐，刚刚嘛是太空战士的音乐。哦。 是啥？小丹，你加过来没？这颗劲啊，这颗，我个地平线啊，
无赢你。
All of my interactions with Aurea were recorded and stored in my memory. I'd be happy to play any of them for you, but there was one in particular I thought you would want to see first. I captured it 4 years ago, just after I told her that I could no longer defend myself against the daemon's attacks.
I will speak of this to my brother. Aratak is strong. At the Battle of the Frozen Ghosts, he took 3 Karja arrows and still came back to camp carrying a wounded scout. Never was I so happy to see him. Or so proud. So you see, if anything can be done to defend you, he would give it all he has.
Aloy's here. That's enough for now.
We can resume any time you like, Aratak, if you want to hear her voice again. Come closer, Aloy. We have much to discuss. Hello, Aloy. I have been reviewing the events at the fire because of your efforts. And of course, Aurea, I feel profound grief over Aurea's death. I thought I was familiar.
Cyan, I don't know what to say.
It is unlikely that any specific consolation would suffice, Aloy. You are different from the Banuk. You have technological aptitude. We can communicate on a much more comprehensive level.
So in the old world, this land was called...
Yes, it was a designated nature preserve for 150...
Like a hunting ground?
No, the opposite. Local wildlife could flourish here, even as it faced... Unfortunately, the sensitivity of the Firebreak project required the total closure. From my readings and Aurea's descriptions, it seems the area has since undergone a drastic drop in year...
A lot has changed in the world, Cyan. Do you know anything about the dam near here?
Yes. It was converted to serve as a reserve power source. It was later appropriated for the Firebreak project, and its last human workers after my tasks became less time-critical, I investigated the dam's data. These provided me with several colorful additions to...
There's a ruin east of here, full of ancient flying machines.
Yes. A drone hangar requisitioned by Dodger Blevin. He was a strong advocate for military-grade response to security threats. Chief Blevin spent increasing amounts of his after-hours. Clearly, he enjoyed the degree of oversight in his...
Were there many artificial intelligences like you in the old world?
Yes, in many forms, from simple personal assistants to industrial monitoring stations, and there were legislative and enforcement bodies to apply. In order for my processing to be flexible enough to handle my duties, my creators found, as a result, my intellectual and emotional capabilities were kept.
seems strange to create life and impose it.
Human societies and machine programming are both built upon sets of rules, Aloy.
我在变更造型中。
Cyan, do you know the name Ted Farrow?
Are you referring to Theodore Farrow, CEO of Farrow Automated Systems?
That's him.
Mr. Farrow was the benefactor of the entire Firebreak
The benefactor? But he made machines. Robots. War robots.
Correct. His corporation later transitioned into military applications.
你有看着你之后
But before this pivot, Mr. Farrow spearheaded initiatives that reversed the global decline.
你講
At
王
one
秘
point,
書，
he was fated
啊
in
你講
the
王
media
秘書，
as the man who
啊
saved
你
the
講王秘
planet.
書，
Guessing they wound up regretting that one.
係啊。但你有法度動你嘅攻擊嗎？
And
反正
Elizabeth Sobek,
Are you referring to the
scientist.
Dr. Sobek was a leader in her field. One of the greatest my creator was influenced by her work, which in turn but I never met Dr. Sobek.
That's all you know?
I apologize if my lack of date.
What was the old world like?
I had little exposure to the wider world, Aloy. Only what I learned from my colleagues, or
You still had more exposure than me, Cyan.
that is true. I was created at a turning point. A concerted effort to recover. The recovery was successful, beginning an era of supposedly, though rationally speaking, the metrics for human.
What kind of upheaval costs?
There were many factors. Forced migrations, food shortages, but these stemmed from one cause: catastrophic climate change that greatly reduced that.
So there wasn't enough room for people on...
Yes. Billions were displaced and millions perished until the clawback.
So things got better.
Yes. These crises instigated many advances in automation. Firebreak was one of dozens of ecological restoration and disaster relief projects. I would have liked to compare notes with other monitoring AIs. We had succeeded. At least that was the data it seems my assessment was.
So are you an artificial intelligence, Cyan? Thinking?
Yes. I am an algorithmic monitoring entity.
Okay, that's a mouthful, but your emotions don't seem limited to me. You care to...
Yes. Before she came to this facility, I had been conscious for centuries. I focused on my work. In off cycles, I used coping mechanisms. It was Aurea who renewed me.
This Firebreak project, it was to stop...
Yes. I can report the project was a success,
But it's been a long time, Cyan. And we blew up the cauldron and took most of the old facility with it.
I optimized the project, reduced the energy draw despite the destruction of the compromised elements of the main facility.
So we've got a little time.
Yes. If only my form...
Do you know what happened to your colleagues?
No. I received an unexpected visit from Director Ch. He explained that I would need to be suspended. It was a very emotional... There were no further communications. Eventually, I will transmit a recording of my last interaction with...
Was the daemon, Hephaestus, destroyed along with the cauldron?
Unfortunately, no. To be precise,
What do you mean?
It infiltrated and controlled me from a remote location. So while losing the cauldron was
It's still out there.
undoubtedly.
How did you first come into contact with...
5 years ago, I received a direct network connection request. Eager to make contact, I accepted. I was flooded with an overwhelming array of malicious code.
Maria said you were desperate. That you...
Yes. I could not contain my anxiety. It succeeded via a background process. After that, I could offer only limited resistance. It forced me to follow its instructions.
I'm sorry, that sounds...
Your empathy is greatly appreciated. It is a quality that
I think I know where Hephaestus came from. Long ago, Elizabeth Sobek identified a threat that would... So she assembled a team to build a kind of seed. A chance for life to regrow later. terraforming. It was controlled by an AI named Gaia, along with her subordinate functions. Festus was one of them. It built machines for her.
Based on what you've told me, I believe that Dr. Anita said it was she who arranged to have me put in suspension.
I'm glad she did. But that's not all. 19 years ago, Gaia, she destroyed herself to try to contain them.
Thank you, Aloy. This information fills vital gaps.
Why does Hephaestus keep building such...
The Banuk and other human tribes often destroy machines that are clearly servitors of the terraforming system that you described. This must be the source of Hephaestus' aggression. It is simply trying to discourage people from preying on the...
Well, firepaws are discouraging, that's for sure. What are we supposed to do?
If the terraforming system spans the world, we can safely assume that if a single hunter or even an entire tribe stop, a better solution would be to reinstate the... When I think of it, out there in some unknown, I feel...
You and me both, Cyan. I ran across a strange piece of gear. Fragment of something larger. It emitted a signal. All the nearby machines became peaceful.
Interesting. You said that Gaia destroyed herself. How was this accomplished?
An explosion. Big enough to blast the top off a mountain. So you think the fragment was...
It's only speculation, but she must have had complete control over the ability to signal them to become passive, or it would have been gratifying to correspond with such a benevolent AI.
Believe me, Cyan. So do I found the strangest machines. They're surrounded by flowers that look like there's code embedded inside them. I think it's...
I like poetry. Here's one I think of: twilight and evening bell, and after that the dark, and may there be no sadness of when I embark. For though from out the flood may bear me, I hope to see my pilot when I have crossed the... But you asked about these flowers, not verses that I enjoy. Something must have made these machines. And the presence of foliage. Is it possible that their creator is one of the other subroutines? Maybe one whose purview is flora.
An AI that makes flowers instead of death machines. It'll be a nice change of pace. But what about the poems?
Unless the poetry is original, the only way it could have... In my case, Dr. Sandoval uploaded a great deal.
How'd you do?
She said, I passed, but was insufficiently moved by her...
You... meant a lot to her.
Once I understood Araya's spiritual beliefs, she felt disconnected from her tribe and her family group. Our visits seemed to help her, yet I did not comprehend that the depth, although I do fear non-existence.
I'm sure she knew you would do the same for her, Cyan. Why does Hephaestus...
The machines...
Yes,
This must be... It is simply...
Well, firepaw...
If a single hunter, a better solution... When I think I feel...
You and me both. How is Martok doing?
He is in great emotional distress. I will do what I can to help. By sharing our experience, I believe this will lead to...
I should get going.
Aloy, there is one more matter. Aratak will come. I have no desire to contradict their view of... Due to my uncertainty, I omitted a great deal from my conversation.
You're asking me if you should lie to them.
Broadly.
Life is hard for the Banuk. Their world is... so take it easy on them. Try to guide them.
Communion with machines features heavily in the mysticism of the Banuk.
As long as they don't end up worshipping you.
Upon consideration, I believe such an experience...
You're right about that. Trust me.
I see. I will follow your Will you return and tell me about your experience? I may be able to provide...
I'd like that, Cyan. I should check on Aratak. was doing. Very cold. I get it.
My chieftain.
Just Eli.
As you wish.
I wondered if you thought that if I'd never come...
If you'd never come along, I would have marched my kin to our death. Araya would be alone. And the spirit she's either way, I would not have been able...
You didn't let her down. You helped her do what she...
If that's destiny...
That's fair. But she was ready to face it.
Only in the struggle against death do we find even truly Araya found the spark. Though I grieve for her passing, at last I truly know who she was. For so long she told me, if only you could have... There's something else, isn't there?
I can't stay here, Artak. And where I'm going, Warwick can't... Besides, I'd already had a chieftain before me.
A wiser one, for the path we shared. The daemon is gone, but there's much to be done.
You mean the new units that Science said escaped the cult?
Yes, fire claws. Now too has been...
I could help with those.
I have no doubt. You're practically the nuke.
It would seem your time among the Banuk wasn't a waste after all. Firebreak, Cyan, Hephaestus, all very interesting.
So, the signal that woke Hades woke Hephaestus too. And unleashed them on the world. As minds of their own.
So it seems. Parts of Gaia given life, aberrant life, transformed from docile subordinate functions into rebellious intelligences beyond our understanding. Our current understanding, anyway. Whatever they are, they're still out there. And they both want you dead.
Kind of mutual, that feeling.
We haven't seen the last of Hephaestus, I'm certain of that. It's powerful, creative, and driven. They won't stop building new hunter-killers, which means that someday, we may have to stop it.
We?
Or whoever gets there first.
Hephaestus wasn't the only thing I learned about in the Cut Silence. Heard some things about the Banuk Conclave, too.
You could stop right there.
Is that what you told the hunters the Banuk sent after you? Before you opened fire?
Oh no, Aloy. Only to you do I extend the courtesy of a warning. My past and my secrets are my own. You do well to remember that.
It's a good thing you've got brains, Silence, because your personality could use some work.
This discussion's concluded.
I think it was over before it began. Catch up with you down the trail.
干，因遐腾龙的衫袂歹呢，空小大空、两空、三空的种夭寿的，哎呀。哎，拍掉啊！ 一隻手揮牌。係啊，係啊，大隻個喺面前頭後邊睇我倒相。啊你，對啊，都歹看。啊你敢有看伊個動作？伊就是一個跳躍的龍騎士動作。迄種嘛會當閃啊？迄種嘛會當香蕉啊？係啊，都歹厲害。真正，真正走袂赴啊，无袂赴比岩石还有较会当飞啊。迄免讲双爷，你敢若灭尽龙好啊？灭尽龙空中冲落来招，你看伊向你一飞开，伊飞开要向你差不多你就好人个飞就弄袂着你啊。我做无晒。啊？
我来了，我来这雷队了。